When I'm not living without electricity in my bedroom for 2 months because I'm too lazy to check the fuse box, I like answering questions that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. If you're using C major's relative minor A minor, wouldn't the A's flat third just be a C? So you're just playing around with the 6 and the root of C major, but calling it the root and minor third of a minor. So that question at its core can sound pretty confusing, because it is very confusing, and I actually don't like how we have different names for the key that you're in, because C major and its relative minor A minor are the same key for all practical purposes. Same with like D Dorian, E Phrygian, or whatever. So I really think it should just be the key of C, whatever the parent scale is, even if it starts on A minor and the tonal center is A minor. I think just like the idea of this ubiquitous tonal center can be very confusing to people starting out. So that's why I really, even if something's in A minor, I'll say it's in C major, because we don't really talk about other stuff the way we talk about major and minor. Like, we don't say that something's in F Lydian, usually. It's usually in the key of C. Sometimes people will say it's in the minor key. Now, I do realize there are instances where you might want to be like, oh, this is in A minor, but what he's asking is, if we're doing something in the key of C, right, where like the 8th fret on the low E string is your C, it's like, okay, here's the key of C, and then here's A minor, where, yeah, the best way to find a minor scale that goes with the key is just take whatever root note you're in and go 3 frets back. In fact, this is kind of like a tenet of the CAGED chord system, which a lot of people love. So I'm not personally a fan of the CAGED chord system, only because it really wasn't what I started on. I think of how chords connect within a key, and usually I think of like a root note and then maybe like a bar chord shape and a mode that goes behind that. For me, that just ends up being, that's the way that makes the most sense to me, but there's no right or wrong way to visualize the fretboard. Lots of people love the CAGED chord system. The main reason I don't like the CAGED chord system is because there's a lot of stuff that just for playing purposes seems impractical to me. Number one being this chord right here as the C-shaped chord underneath the bar chord. So I'm gonna play an F major chord where I'm barring the entire 5th fret. My pinky is on the 8th fret of the A string, my ring finger is on the 7th fret of the D string, and my middle finger is on the 6th fret of the B string to make an F major chord. Like that. So that's a tenet of the CAGED chord system. If I was like, hey, play an F major chord, and you played this, I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Come on. That's like the most unholy, uncomfortable shape that I could possibly even like think about playing in that. Like, it's so much easier to play an F any other way. And that's just why I'm not personally super down with the CAGED chord system. Again, it's totally a great, valid way that a lot of people find a lot of value with. Personally, I've just never thought of things that way. But the main point is, whatever helps you to visualize a fretboard is perfectly fine. Everything in the CAGED chord system is accurate. And it is cool that, like, okay, I can see that this C major shape is movable and repeatable everywhere else. I just don't think that is a natural chord voicing that is going to lend itself to a lot of practical playing. But again, that's just me. Sean, why do you call the key of G major the people's key? Excellent question. So years ago, me and my buddy Ian, who you've seen on the channel probably a lot, we did this thing called Soldier Songs, where like retired military people would kind of get together and do the songwriting thing, and me and Ian were helping them out, kind of getting some stuff recorded. And there's this guy named Ray Hodges, who is a Vietnam War veteran, an awesome singer-songwriter, awesome guy. Shout out to Ray Hodges. I remember we were recording one of his songs, great songwriter, and I think he was like, all right, what should I play this in? He's like, we'll go with G major. He's like such a gentle, peaceful soul of a man, and he's like, G major, the people's key. He just said it. I can't take credit for it. Ray Hodges was like, G major, the people's key. And I was just sitting there getting ready to record him. I'm like, yeah, it is the people's key. Sometimes you'll just hear something that just makes 100 absolute sense. G major is the people's key. I can't even totally explain it. I guess if I had to explain it, is because I do think on guitar it's probably the easiest key for a singer-songwriter to kind of accompany themselves, because if you're basic and you're just playing 1s, 4s, and 5s, right, you can play the whole G major to a C major to D, technically suspended 4, right, and then just have your 1s, 4s, and 5s, and really just land your ring finger and pinky just here like Oasis Wonderwall style. So I think that G major is probably the easiest one. But also too, in my mind, I always equate the absolute legend Ray Hodges with being such a man of the people. The G major has just, for me, been the people's key and forever will be the people's key. And it just makes sense. What the effing blah blah blah, make my head F like a kid. Today is a beautiful day and this is a guitar. WTF man, get to the point. Like a kid, makes my head spin. F. This clearly seems like a father who is in way over his head. Oh, my head is spinning, just like a kid. Oh, these kids, it hurts my head, it's like a kid. Oh, you reminded me of these kids. Do you think Fender Play is a good way to get better at guitar? I honestly don't know anything about Fender Play. I've seen their advertisements and stuff. It's sure, whatever. It's just kind of like going back to the CAGED chord system, whatever works for you. I think if there's some kind of method or system that is gonna allow you to actually focus and pay attention and get an instrument or whatever in your hands, then it's worth the price of admission. There's not like one that's better or worse than another, aside from my videos and my master classes and stuff. So if Fender Play is working for you, go for it. I haven't personally had experience. If anybody has, leave your thoughts and stuff in the comments below and we'll share them. Where the hell did this come from? So this was a comment on the interview I posted with Marty O'Donnell, absolute legend composer in general, most known for his game composers like the Halo and Destiny stuff. His new thing, Golem, just came out. I was able to meet him at Game SoundCon, which is a convention in Los Angeles, and he was cool enough to do an interview. So I posted that a couple days ago. I will link you in the description below because it's really just kind of like a cool insight into really like a legendary composer. If you've never heard of him, check out some of his scores and soundtracks because it's almost like a shame that only gamers listen to gamer music because it's just as valid a medium as like, you know, film scoring and any kind of like music in general. So check that out and let me know what you think. So for listening homework, I'm going to link you to the prequel album that Marty O'Donnell made for the game that he just released, which is really cool. It's just super chill, very pretty sounding music. If you just need to relax or whatever, put this on. You'll enjoy it. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website. Thanks a lot.